You know that feeling when you move into a new place and suddenly want to fill it fast? Like, I need a sofa, a lamp, and something for that empty console. It is totally normal, but rushing often leads to regret and a home full of stuff that doesn't really work. Decorating isn't just about filling space, it's about choosing pieces that reflect how you live and what you like. So today, I'm sharing the decor pieces that helps elevate a space and how to choose each one with intention. Lighting is one of the most underrated components in any space. It doesn't just brighten a room, it shapes the mood, the atmosphere, and how everything else looks. Most people just grab whatever is at the store, usually something plain, like a basic round shape with a generic base. It is functional, but forgettable. But lamps are one of the easiest ways to introduce shape, material, and visual interest to a room. Look for one with personality like hand-thrown ceramics, bold forms, colored glass, or even something that feels like a sculpture. And don't stop at how it looks. Think about the type of light it gives off. You need to read? Go for a task lamp with a directional head. Want to set a mood? Choose a diffuse fabric shade that casts soft ambient light. Want to highlight architectural features? Try wall washers or diffuse LED strips. Even the shadows cast by a lamp can add dimension. And here's a quick pro tip. Layer 3 to 5 light sources per room and your home will change instantly. You can also get smart light bulbs, so it's easy to control them all at once instead of flicking 10 switches. So don't settle for basic. Choose lamps that match your lighting needs and look like they belong in the room, even when they're turned off. Introduce shape and texture and treat them like the design feature they are. Speaking of setting the right mood, it is not just about the room you're in, it is also about where your mind's at. That is why I've been using Calm, the #1 app for sleep and meditation, giving you the power to calm your mind and change your life. For me, running a business, building an AI design app, and just juggling everything in modern life means my mind rarely slows down. But Calm has been a real reset button. I've especially enjoyed the expert series from Dr. Julie Smith to help with anxiety, but there's so much more inside the app. Guided meditations, grounding exercises, sleep stories, soundscapes, even music designed to help you focus or unwind, which I like to use when doing deep work. One of my favorite things is that you can actually tell Calm what you're feeling in the moment, and it instantly gives you content to help with that. It is also really motivating to track your streaks with little encouragement as you build the habit of being more mindful. So if you want to stress less, sleep more, and live better, head to the link in my description and use code Reynard for 40% off your Calm Premium subscription today. Nothing transforms a room faster than a plant. You'll notice that almost every professionally designed space has at least one plant. And that is not a coincidence. Designers use them to add height, shape, and softness all at once. Start with one big piece if you have the space and natural light for it. Something like a rubber tree, Songs of India, or a weeping fig. These draw the eye upward and act as a statement. Then layer in smaller ones, succulents on shelves, trailing ivy on bookcases, even a little potted herb in the kitchen. But be realistic about your lifestyle. If you're away a lot or don't get much light, stick to hard-to-kill plants like ZZ plants or Sansevieria. And be picky if you're going fall. Some fake plants look tragic, but others look really convincing. You just have to be selective about them. Books are one of the most underrated decor pieces. Group a few together, and suddenly you've got something that is not only visually interesting, but also full of personality. They tell the story of your interest, or even the phase of life you're in. I personally own a lot of design books, and I always enjoy going back to them from time to time, whether it is for inspiration or to revisit something I've read before. Coffee table books deserve a mention too. They're perfect for casual browsing and a great conversation starter for guests. Pick one that reflects your interest, whether it be architecture, travel, art, food, or photography. When it comes to styling books, I always like to mix it up. Some vertical and horizontal stacking and leave room between piles. You can also mix in some interesting bookends and decor pieces in between. Art is where your personality shines through, so please don't default to mass-produced prints that show up in every second living room. You know the ones, generic arch prints, Eiffel Towers, and yes, the dreaded live, laugh, love quote. They just don't look good. Instead, choose pieces that actually resonate with you. That could be a painting from a local artist, a framed print from a museum store, vintage pieces from a thrift shop, or your own photography thoughtfully printed and framed. And it doesn't have to be expensive either. You can go to a flea market, buy secondhand art, or even get affordable artwork online. There's so many accessible ways to bring real personality into your space. Now, the main thing you have to be careful with is scale. If you're hanging art above a sofa, console, or fireplace, aim for something that is at least 2/3 the width of the furniture below. If in doubt, bigger almost always looks better than too small. Framing matters too. Go with simple black, wood, or white for timeless appeal. Matting adds polish, especially for prints or photography. I also love floating frames or textured mounts for a little extra depth. Also get creative with its placement. Hang pieces in unexpected spots like the bathroom, or lean them casually against a wall or shelf. If you're doing a gallery wall, treat it as one large piece, with the same 2/3 rule applied. Keep the spacing consistent and use a common thread, like all black frames or shared color palette to keep it cohesive. Now, if you've ever stared at your room thinking, I'm not sure what I should do here, you're not alone. That is exactly why I built Room Visualizer AI. You upload a photo of your room and it shows you a completely new look, styled to your taste. We've already run 2 beta invites and helped hundreds of people see their home with fresh eyes. It is in beta and invite only for now, but you can join the waitlist via the link below. A mirror isn't just a place to check your outfit. It's one of the easiest ways to make a room feel brighter, larger, and more elevated. That is why designers use them all the time to bounce the light, double the visual depth of a space, and draw attention to architectural features or views. But like art, scale matters. A tiny mirror floating awkwardly on a big wall will look like a mistake. Oversized mirrors, on the other hand, look luxurious. Lean a tall mirror casually against a wall, hang one above a console, or use a round mirror to break up boxy furniture line. That said, don't overpay for mirrors. High-quality mirrors can be pricey, but the second-hand market is full of gems. Facebook Marketplace, vintage stores, estate sales, these places are goldmines for mirrors with character. You'll find better frames, more personality, and prices that make sense. And for style, don't feel boxed in. A sleek mirror can look great in a traditional space, and a highly ornate antique frame can bring contrast to a modern room. Mixing old and new can keep your space from feeling too one-note, which is a trick many designers use. Just make sure your mirror reflects something nice, not clutter. If it is bouncing back a tangle of cords or a laundry pile, maybe rethink the placement. A lot of people throw up the most basic blinds and call it a day, but windows take up a huge amount of visual space, and the wrong treatment can make or break the entire room. They are part of the architecture, so you have to treat them that way. Even if your home came with basic roller blinds, you can layer curtains over them to soften the space. It adds depth, texture, and instantly make the room feel more finished. Here's the trick to getting curtains right. Use rods that extend beyond the window frame and hang them high and wide. Avoid hanging curtains just at the edge of the frame, as it visually shrinks the entire wall. You also need the fabric to be 1.5 to 2 times the width of the window, so you have that nice fold when the curtain is fully drawn. And don't forget about length. Curtains should either float above the floor, kiss the floor, or puddle just slightly. Too short and they'll instantly cheapen the room. Roman blinds are another great option, especially for windows that don't go all the way to the floor. They come in a wide range of interesting patterns and materials, so you can easily choose one that suits your needs. I have a full video that walks through different types of window furnishings in more detail, so check that out if you're interested. Rugs can completely pull a room together, but they're also one of the most common places people go wrong as they go too small. A tiny rug makes everything feel disconnected, like your furniture is floating in the room. Here's how to get the size right. In a living room, the front legs of all major furniture pieces should sit on the rug at a minimum. In a dining room, the rug should be large enough for all the chairs to stay on it, even when pulled out. In a bedroom, aim for a rug that wraps the bed and gives you something soft underfoot when you wake up. If in doubt, always go bigger. Rugs that are slightly oversized look intentional. Rugs that are too small look like bath mats. They're also a great way to zone open plan spaces, as it helps anchor the furniture and visually separate areas without walls. And because they cover so much surface area, the type of rug you choose has a big impact. A boring polyester rug with no texture that blends in with the furniture is not going to look good. Look for contrast, whether it be color, pattern, texture, or material. Natural fibers like wool, jute, and cotton not only last longer, they feel better underfoot and age beautifully. Yes, they may cost more upfront, but you're not replacing them every few years like cheaper synthetics. Throw pillows, blankets, and other soft accents might seem like an afterthought, but they're the jewelry of your room. Small, but completely capable of transforming the overall look. Layering textiles is one of the easiest ways to add texture and depth, but don't play it too safe. A set of 4 matching pillows and throw is never going to look good. What you want is to mix materials. Linen, boucle, wool, velvet, cotton, there's so many to choose from. Then vary the shapes, patterns, and sizes of your pillows. Small textiles are also a great way to refresh your space seasonally. Cotton or linen in spring and summer. Heavier textures like wool or sherpa in winter. It's an easy switch that you can do without a major overhaul. And here's a quick tip. Swap your pillow covers, not inserts. It's cheaper, takes up less storage, and lets you rotate your textiles throughout the year. If you want help pulling all the little details together, I have a free guide called Secrets to a Beautiful Home. It includes a decorating checklist and some video lessons to help you decorate your home. Let's be honest, life gets messy. Keys get tossed, mail piles up, sunglasses disappear. That is where trays, bowls, and baskets come in. They're not just functional. They're your secret for turning everyday clutter into something that looks styled. Trays are perfect for corralling small items and instantly make the chaos feel intentional. Instead of 5 different items, you have one single grouping that looks like cohesive arrangement. I also find it helps prevent over-decorating by limiting the surface area you can fill. Bowls are similar, but they're more for smaller items like keys or remote. I like to put them on entryway consoles as you can drop your everyday items like keys and sunglasses in them, which is super handy and avoid losing them. The last one is basket. They're great for storing bulkier items from throw blankets to kids' toys, and they look good out in the open. Tuck one beside a sofa, under a bench, or in an empty corner to fill negative space without adding visual clutter. The key to making these pieces work is to be mindful of the color and material against everything else in your space. Don't just buy a bowl because it is cute. If it clashes with everything else you own, it is going to feel out of place. Decorating your home isn't about buying everything all at once. It is a slow, thoughtful process, one that unfolds over time. So, resist the urge to grab what is easy or trendy. If something doesn't serve a function or spark a feeling, it is better to keep searching for the right piece. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video on 8 trendy design tips that make your home look cheap, and 8 home design choices that scream outdated and what to do instead. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.